Loch Cuaich Dam, start of the trip. Going to be going out along the south shore of Loch Cuaich, past the islands, and then from there cross country to Glen Kingie and down the River Kingie with a hike back up to Cuaich Dam. That's the day. It's light rain, overcast, reasonably mild. Here we are crossing Loch Cuaich, and the wind is fortunately the winds are quite light, so that's making the crossing really easy. Big contrast to yesterday when we had gale force winds. On the shores of Loch Cuaich you've got these almost like octopus-like stumps of old pine trees, and this has come about because when they created the reservoir, it basically stranded these trees because all the soil has been removed by both the water and the waves that form on the reservoir shore. So it's really quite strange, but it exposes a huge amount of moraine and bedrock, which is very interesting because most of the landscape's covered in grass and moss and bog, but you get to see what it would have looked like at the end of the Ice Age. My setup today is this MRS raft. It's got really nice thigh strap system. I've got a small bag with me for the day which has got some food and drink and a torch inside there. I put lines on the front and on the back because they're going to become very useful when we're on the river. If you come out of these boats on the river, there's nothing to grab a hold of really unless you've got something tied on the ends. So I also have a swim tail behind me. So here on the shores of Loch Cuaich you can see where the peat has been stripped off by wave action, and as you go down the beach, obviously the waves are more regular down there, and generally the beaches are completely free, and you'll see the old stumps, and that's where we've come from. Okay, time to finish the crossing. Actually down at the shore there's a little bit of peat left, as you can see here, and there's also these huge boulders lying around which are clearly dumped here by the ice. And, yeah, let's have another closer look at the setup here. I use the yellow cord at the back because it's visible, and I've also got a swim tail which will be trailed once I'm on the river. But really important to have those, because although you can take a hold of these straps if you happen to be at the side of the boat, if you're at the ends of the boat there's nothing to get a hold of, so that's why I've also threaded that sling at the front, and that's useful for lashing in the bag that I'm carrying. So that's pretty much the setup on this boat, and the paddle is a 4-piece Lendl Kinetic that I've had for many years, used on kayaking expeditions. Well, we're hiking up over the moor and then down through the forest into Glen Kingie now. Still basically breathless in terms of wind and some drizzle. Hopefully the river stayed up. The ground over the moor was incredibly wet, so and it still is raining, albeit lightly, so I think it should be sufficient water. Anyway, we've got another kilometre or so to go, maybe a kilometre and a quarter. And we're now down in Glen Kingie. walking on the trail to the ruins of an old bothy, which is beside a loch. And this is the kind of landscape out in Glen Kingie. So we're down at the bothy in Glen Kingie, and just out there in the upper valley there's a small loch, and then the river comes down flat from the hills and passes through yet another loch, you can see just over there, and roughly where those trees are down there, where the river system goes into the forest, that's where the rapids start. So we're at the bothy now, or I'm at the bothy in Glen Kingie, and more or less ready to get on the river, which at this point is fairly flat and passes through some small lochans before we get to the rapids, which the rapids are mostly grade 1, 2, some 3s, and certainly part of this loch is very shallow, so we're going to paddle through these reeds to get to the river. Those are the hills we came over. Okay, we're on the upper river now, and it's sort of continuous, grade 2 and a bit, you can see up there. So we're in the upper river right now, and there's some good rapids and some beautiful scenery. We've got a reasonably big ledge coming up here. So find the best route down it. It's going quite well at the moment. The trickiest rapids are a lot easier in the Packraft than in a canoe. Okay, this is the lower river now, and things get a bit hectic here under the bridge. A little bit more than grade 3. So kind of got to get this one organised, and we'll see how we go. got the second of the big ledges. We've run the first one. I think middle is kind of messy, and it actually looks better on the far side. There's two chutes there, and I'd say that left-hand chute's going to go a little cleaner, and the one on the right might be okay too. Maybe not. There's a rock at the base of it. Yeah, a little bit constricted and twisty on this near side. So let's give it a go. So this is the exit of Kingie into Kingie Pool, and we're on Kingie Pool now. And this is a kind of lochen that picks up the Garry, or the Cuaich, I suppose, and then it becomes the Garry. And there's Kingie Lodge up there. So the river's completed. We just got to make it back across Kingie Pool and then hike up for the car. So we're up at the road now and walking back up to Cuaich Dam, which is up there, and from Cuaich Dam we went up over these hills. That's Garry, the Monroe in the background, and in behind this hill, and all the way across and over into Glen Kingie, which comes out in Kingie Pool down there. So that's my route back up to the car, and somewhat empty stream is the Gear Garry, which runs on a small compensation flow that comes out of Cuaich Dam. And yeah, just 5 minutes from completing the round. Cuaich to Kingie and back.